Okay, we're live. Okay, hello everybody. We're here to discuss Sag Harbor. And I have with me, I have Michael from Michael Reads, Tatiana from Musical Tati, and Alicia from Pretty Brown Eye Reader. So everybody's finished the book. It's just a little bit before the official end of the month, but I need to do it tonight.
Because she's going on holiday.
Yes, I'm going on holiday. So we had to get this done before I left on holiday, or otherwise I would have lost all my thoughts. So let's just get started. Who wants to start talking about? Well, let's just do the show of hands. How many people did not like this book? Oh no, there's two people who didn't like the book. Okay, so two people did not like the book. Right. And how many did like the book? I love this book. So it's going to be 2 and 2. Okay, so where do you guys want to start? I suggest we start with the gang, with the boys. The group.
The group.
So we got Reggie, we got NP.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny.
Yes.
Randy, Bobby, we got Marcus, and we got Clive. Okay,
and
so
Benji.
of the gang.
And
who?
Benji.
Oh yeah, of course, Benji, of course, the main character. All right, so who's your favorite? Okay, excluding Benji, who's your favorite of the group? Or do you have a favorite of the group? Well, I know I have my favorite that I hate in the group.
I don't have, and I think I know who you hate. I don't have a favorite because I think this was the interesting thing about the boys. I think for what I wouldn't like in one person, another person in the group feels that issue. If that makes any sense. So like they complement each other well.
Yeah.
So it's not like I didn't like any of them, but I didn't dislike them either. It's like they're people that I would, if I saw them, I would wave and say, hey, but just don't have a conversation with me.
Okay, so well, I mean, I get that. So you're saying like they're very much a solidified group of boys. Like they're on the same kick, they're on the same level, so they all have the same bad habits.
Yes.
I guess you could say, for lack of better words, they all have pretty much the same issues. Okay, what do you think about that, Michael? Because you're the male here, and okay, so
I like the characters. NP is my favorite out of all of them.
Oh, you like NP? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's because I always like characters who are. It's obviously he is flawed.
Yeah, well, they all flawed, girl. They're all flawed.
Yeah, they're all flawed. I don't know. I just really liked him. Besides Ben, I think. Well, Benji's my favorite because.
Yeah.
I mean, just
did you not like? Did you guys not like Benji?
I didn't like Benji because he was clueless about a lot of things.
But he's a teenager. What you expect?
He's a kid.
He's a kid. I mean, you can't treat Benji like he's 17.
You know
Come on
you're
now.
Right. You're absolutely right.
He's not that clueless. He's not that clueless. Come on now.
I think he is.
He's probably one of the smartest ones in the group, I think.
No, and I think Reggie was the smartest one in the group because he made sure his ass was out the house every day. On the weekend.
Okay, you can either say that that's smart or he was just avoiding conflict. But I don't know. Reggie makes some pretty good analogies.
Yeah.
During the story, so you can see that he's not clueless. There are some parts in the book where you can say, yeah, okay, I think what he is he's lacking a surety of himself, of who he is, and what he should be doing, because he's in a group situation. And even adults can get crazy like that, you know, when they're in group situations. They can do stuff that they would never ever do if they were on their own, but because they're in a group situation, you know, they don't make the best you know, the best decisions about things. You know, but
what about you, Alicia? What did you?
Well, I liked MP because of his creative answers about everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Benji had some movement in the story, I guess. I probably would have liked him as a main character better.
Okay.
But but I didn't necessarily dislike any of them, all of them.
What I found really interesting about the book is that in the back of the book, on my copy, it says it's kind of like like short stories, like each chapter were short stories, and I think that was my favorite aspect because it was broken.
I agree.
It was like broken
structure
down in a way that was really that I really liked.
Yeah,
and I could tell that was the point of the structure, but something about like this did not sit as well with me as The House on Mango Street did.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
When I started reading it, I was like, okay, so this is kind of like how, you know, how The House on Mango Street is, with each chapter is its own vignette, but it didn't sit well with me.
Well, because I think also, I mean, you know, they are a group of boys, and it's true. When I finished reading it, I said, "Damn, that was a man's book, or that was a boy's book." You know, it's, you know. But I mean, and usually it's true. I kind of, I feel like I steer clear from the overly masculine type book, because I feel like I'm not gonna like it being a woman, especially if it's even a white man and I'm reading as from a Black woman's point of view. I feel like, ugh, you know, maybe not for me. But I still felt like I was a real fly on the wall during the entire thing, and I thought that was brilliant how he managed to pull you in and force you to be with these boys doing all the shenanigans and shit they had going on. He forces you as a reader to be a part of the group, whether it's a fly on the wall feeling or whether it's as if though you're one of the guys. And I think, you know, I think he does that mostly because of the dynamic between the boys, but also all of the 1980s scenery, background, and all the rest of it kind of solidifies the story. And that's what kept me moving through it, because I felt like it was just sort of like a part of Benji's life, you know. We're just seeing a slice of his life. So we get a lot of things going on, but with sometimes we don't have any real finishing of a lot of things, which is fine because it is just a slice of his. It's his coming of age.
I needed the finish.
Oh, you needed the finish?
I needed the finish. That's one of the things that I did not like. That's one of the things I didn't like about the story, because like he would be talking about the current summer that they're in, and what was going on, and then we would go back to 2 summers ago, and then we would go back to the current summer, and then we would go back to the summer before that, and then we would go back to the current summer.
Now keep in mind,
then we would have a little bit of foreshadowing, like we know somebody dies, we know somebody ends up in a wheelchair,
but
we don't know who. We can assume. Keep
in mind, usually when teenagers, you know, if they're meeting up at the same place every summer, they have a tendency to do that kind of reflection, which is to think about what happened 2 summers ago. Oh, no, that was 3 summers ago when so-and-so fell off the roof, or when, you know, there's usually this sort of backplay of.
But that's when they're talking to each other. I don't want that when you're talking to me.
Yeah, but I thought that was good, because if you're talking to me like that, then I'm really lost, because I wasn't there 2 summers ago. So I need time to kind of, you know, jive with it.
In next to the last chapter, there's a part in there, because I wrote it down in my notes, where he talks about his vision or his understanding of memory and how he views memory, and about like how he's remembering everything. So at that point of the book, I was like, is he reliable at all? But to me, that didn't really matter, because I think
it was too late in the book for me to get that. I wish seriously, I wish he had given that earlier.
Oh, okay.
I wish he had, because there's a lot of it that feels kind of autobiographical.
Yeah.
And so, excuse me, I wish that he had given that part of it earlier, because I wasn't expecting this to have the autobiographical feeling. And even though I don't read a lot of what would be literary fiction, when it's about the characters, I'm expecting a little bit more in character development. Like the development in this, this whole book ended up to Catching a Feel and a kiss.
Yeah, because it's coming of age. What you think it's all about? Come on now. What you think he's gonna be doing? Becoming a doctor at the end? Come on now.
No.
You just wanted more things to happen.
Yes.
But not shenanigans.
Yes.
Look, I expected shenanigans. When I saw Coming of Age, I said, "Oh boy, shenanigans."
I don't mind the shenanigans. Like the breath of stupidity of the shenanigans was interesting. So I didn't mind the shenanigans, but more of what I liked had to do with like the separation of Reggie and Benji as they were growing up. How they were separating during the school year, trying to break apart from the twinship that they had, and how they carried that into Sag Harbor. Like that's something that I really enjoy reading about, because I haven't experienced that, being the oldest by years of everybody, of my siblings. So that's something that I really liked, as well as the 80s segregation of Sag Harbor. So those are the things that stuck out to me, and how the kids, how they as teenagers took that in.
Yeah.
Like, that it's part of the makeup of Sag Harbor, and the whites live over here, we blacks live over here.
Yeah. They won't pass the rock.
This beach, and then at some point during the day we switch.
Yeah.
At the magic hour we switch, and we go over there and they go over here.
But then also
lights go out. We all.
But then also you had the colorism within the group and within the adults was wow. That was a lot.
My favorite chapter. Well, I guess we might talk about it later. But my favorite chapter was definitely about the one with his parents. I thought.
Yeah.
Yes. The one where they have the barbecue. I was like, oh, this is.
Oh, damn. When he went off on his wife for those freaking paper plates, Jesus. I was like, this man.
He's lost his mind.
He has lost his freaking bloody mind. My
mind was, he's lost his mind. And what the fuck is wrong with Dixie?
Like, exactly. Oh, my God.
And also, remember, Dixie's come a long way. Dixie's come a long way from the 80s.
Don't they have those like things you can put under a plastic plate? Like I think we have some where you put it.
And can't you just double the plastic plate?
Well, what we did was double the plastic plate. Like,
hello.
You bring extra plates or extra things to a cookout. You brought the stuff you needed. Like you didn't have straws. You had solo cups, cans, plates, and utensils. That's it.
And you just double that shit and keep it moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were in a regular cookout now. To the part that's like crazy is this is the house that they went to every summer. So it's like you could have had it and just had it, even if you just had it for yourself, so that you weren't dropping your food. But who puts potato salad on one plate unless it's a Chinette? And Chinette wasn't even out there.
that whole, but that just showed you the dysfunction in this family.
Yes.
And the thing that made it come out even more was when I think it's a little bit after that, either right after that. Yeah, I think it's right after that, where Benji goes into town. I think he's with Bobby, and then he sees his sister with this German guy. And then I think his sister said something. She says, oh, he says, you're not coming home. And
Yeah.
she says, oh,
She was like, no, I ain't got time.
Yeah, she said, well, he said, well, why not? And she said, well, you know why.
And he really
Come on, you know why. And then she said, you just have to make good grades at school and then just
get the hell out of there.
Just get the hell out of there, you know. But I think he deep down inside he knows, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Either that or he's scared to leave his mom alone. But they're alone the whole week. That's the other thing. Who the hell leave their teenagers on the beach?
That's what I thought too. But apparently it's something that was very common back then. Is that the parents would leave the kids, you know, in this girl. I was surprised they're gonna burn that damn house down.
Like, no, ma'am.
2 boys. They leave 2 boys in the house. I'm like, well, damn. They're lucky if they come back on Monday. On Friday, the house is even there. You know. But I think he doesn't. He doesn't want to admit of this problem between his mom and dad.
But he knows it's there because
he knows about it. But
he knows how to announce, like, let his mama know when she's in the company of other people that there's an issue without saying there's an issue. Like,
exactly
with the plate incident, he goes to get her, and all he says is, "Daddy needs you," not "Daddy about to lose his shit."
Yeah. Daddy needs you. But I like the way he talks about his mom.
Yeah.
When he talks about his mom being really beautiful and she's always smiling and she's athletic and she's, you know, happy, and there's just something that the way he speaks about his mom is touching, I think.
And then when he describes her as she's on the way back to the house because she's been summoned by his father, and how all of that fades away with
it fades exactly. And I think that is a beautiful image, the way that's written. It's fairly sad. And then the dad is really hard. He's really hard. And I mean, at the scene where the kid at school, you know, takes his finger and wipes it on Benji's face and says, oh, it doesn't wipe off.
Oh.
And the mom told the dad about that, which I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, she knows he gonna go off. Why is she telling him this, you know? You know, and then what happens next is it's brutal, you know, brutal. The dad just hitting the kid in the face.
Can he hit you harder than that?
Yeah, can he hit you harder than that?
Can he hit you harder than that?
Oh my God. That was just traumatic, that scene.
And there's definitely a level of mental, emotional, and physical abuse.
Yeah, absolutely. But not only to the kids, but to the mom as well.
Yeah, to the mom as well. Yeah.
Everybody's walking on eggshells around the dad, pretty much.
He's like the overlord of the house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually pretty happy to be alone in the house for a week on their own because, you know, they do have a sense of, you know, freedom and stuff. But that summer, it's like when their family really crumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Because the daughter is leaving, pretty much. She's at university. She's clearly not coming back, you know. So it's sort of like the end of the peaceful summers, you know, with the whole family together.
And I
think it
also shows some like a lot more of the family weaknesses, like when the power goes out and they think it's a power outage, but no, your lights got cut off.
Yeah.
And the mom's just chill reaction to, first of all, you called the mom and not your dad.
Exactly.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
But
the thing is though, like, okay, so when that part happened, I was like, why couldn't they pay their bill? Aren't they like doctors, and one is
a doctor and a lawyer.
They're the Huxtables.
Like,
exactly. That's exactly what he says, because there's a whole scene in there where he's comparing them to the Huxtables.
What? How are y'all?
Yeah.
I think there was some misappropriation or mismanagement of funds going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Because There were a lot of issues. You have two teenage boys that you've left in the house for a week, sometimes 2 weeks at a time before you come down. You have left them not enough money to be able to make sure that they have something to eat, because it's when they run out of food that Benji's like, shit, I need a job.
TV dinners. Weight Watchers dinners, and
Yes.
what is it? What's this?
They like them.
Swanson's dinners and all kinds of shit like that. I haven't seen any of those in ages. Lord.
Wait, they don't have those in France?
Hell no. We have our own frozen food here. I would trust I buy frozen food here from a particular place, and it's nothing like the frozen food in the States. I know.
I haven't had a frozen dinner in a really long time.
You and me both, Mike. Well, because you get your wings. Like, I watch your wings, and I'm like, shit, I need some chicken.
Yeah.
Golly.
I'm about to go get some today. I'm going tomorrow, though.
How to get them wings. Oh, man. Yeah, and also the way he talks about the food is pretty funny, too.
Yeah.
Just in general, it's pretty funny.
I was telling this to Dee before we were on, but my favorite part was the writing.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
His writing. I think it's the way he describes things.
Yeah, let's see. I marked a couple of things.
There's just passages upon passages.
They're good.
This is my first actually Colson Whitehead. Has anyone read The Underground Railroad?
Yeah, I read it.
I haven't.
It's really good, The Underground Railroad, too.
Yeah, and
really?
I like
4.5 stars easily.
But there's so much, and this is why because I can tell, like, when by the time we finish with this live, I'm gonna, like the book more than I did upon reading it. But that's also why I didn't look at hardly any of the comments on Goodreads and the discussion on Goodreads, because I didn't want that to change.
Yeah.
Before we got to this point, but this felt like assigned reading a little bit.
Really?
It did.
I wish I would have been assigned something like this to read.
Well, again, I need the connection.
That never happened to me.
And I did not feel any connections. The one, did I feel any? I don't think I felt any connections.
What about you, Alicia?
The one incident I did feel a connection to was that fucking hair patting incident.
What?
I had to put the book down.
What she felt like it was about.
Say that again, Alicia.
What did you just say about before you said about the connection? You felt something. It kind of went out a little bit.
I have a connection about the head patting incident. With the boss, and he comes up and pats his head and talking about something. You doing a good,
Yeah.
I would have been fired.
Well, for me, the book felt like. Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay, for me, reading the book, it felt like reading The Sellout by Paul Beatty, however you say it.
Oh no, that book is a lot harder to read than this one. Wow.
Not. It was the use of the N word and the profanity very much reminded me of
the profanity.
that. And the writing is extremely smart in both books, but I felt like I wanted something to happen. Give me a climax to what was going on, and I would have felt better about the story. To me, I know it's supposed to be sort of like short stories put together, but it just felt like it was just all kind of thrown together, and it didn't run smoothly for me.
Yeah, it's not really supposed to be like a regular story, because you're only just getting one part of his life, But
right, I felt the same way, Alicia. I felt the same.
I can't find the passage. It was a passage. It was so wonderfully written.
When he talks about the bar mitzvah, that was like, I knew I was going to be in trouble then, because that was like early on in the book. And I was like, this is too much time on this one little detail. That you're going to the bar mitzvahs, but you're talking about food, the finger foods. And I was just like, oh no, this ain't going to be good.
This was absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah, I love that part. That was so funny.
Because this was so real. Like every time they cussed, I was like, oh my God, these kids are cussing. And then I had to check myself like, dummy, you did the same thing. Like the experimentation with cuss words. Like, how does this sound? Does this sound good? No, that don't sound good. Let's try putting it with this word.
Dag. Dag.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is so 1980s. Dag.
Oh my God.
We
used to say that all the time. I mean,
really?
Dag.
It'll fly out my mouth every now and again.
Girls and boys said dag. Dag, girl.
Oh my God.
And my mom hated it because my mom knew that when we said dag, we meant damn.
Damn, exactly. Oh Lord. Here's the part with the hair. It says there has been far too little research done in the area of what drives white people to touch black hair. What are the origins of the strange compulsion that forces them to reach out to smooth, squeeze, pet, pat, bounce their fingers in the soft, resilient exuberance of an afro, a natural, a just doing its own thing jumble of black hair? It's only hair, but try telling that to the specimen eyeing a seductive bonbon of black locks at the sweat beads on their forehead, and they tremble with the intensity of restraint, their fingers locked in a fist in their pocket. I cannot touch it, but I must. A black hair fondler has a few favorite questions that they like to ask when they fondle. How do you comb it? How do you make it do that? How do you wash it? With a pick? Just does it, shampoo, jerk it off. I love that because it's just that is the thing that keeps going on and on and on. We still have it today, even, it hasn't stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole, like when he said the whole working at the ice cream store.
Oh my God.
I was like, I needed to work at an ice cream store because I can't ever see myself not wanting ice cream.
I mean, but they were eating it day and night.
Day.
All day, every day. I don't know how they didn't go into a diabetic coma, frankly speaking. Because that was like too much.
That's young veins.
Because I was like, well, damn. There's a lot of ice cream.
I actually grew up. What I love most about this is that since it's very nostalgic for me, because I actually grew up by the beach. Like I was born, well, not born, but I grew up by the beach, and it just reminded me a lot of like the stupid things that I used to do growing up by the beach.
Like what, Michael?
Do tell.
Things that are not appropriate for this live show, but I think that's what it reminded me of, just like doing all the stupid things that we did as friends. That's what I love most about it, I think, because I really, really like that part about it.
Yeah, all I can say is thank God for Clive. Because if it were not for Clive, a lot of their lives would have ended this summer.
Yeah. I mean, come on, because Randy was such a sucker, man. Damn, that guy.
Randy was a conundrum. The day that they're bored, like they have nothing to do, and Randy says, let's show dicks.
Yeah, and it's like what? And they were just like, nah, let's not say we did, okay? Nah.
The part with the BB gun, that
BB gun, that like terrorized me.
That was the beginning of the end.
Oh,
because I was like, oh my God.
That was the beginning. And I knew it was coming because one of the things that I said before we started the live was, my cousin had a BB gun and we used to go out. Like he never let me shoot the BB gun. That used to piss me off because it was his and he was older. But never, if he thought it, he never said it out of his mouth. There were no, we gonna shoot at each other. Yeah. Let's go get you a BB gun so that you can shoot at me and we can play war. No.
And wait, let me shoot you in the head and I'm going to pump mine 5 times.
No, not just I'm going to pump mine 5 times. I'm going to pump mine 5 times as I'm walking closer to you.
Yeah, and shoot you in the head with. I'll tell you, that Randy, he was something else.
He was
a mess.
He was a mess.
It was a hot mess.
I am pretty sure that the two that are
thugs,
the one that's missing from the group and the one that's paralyzed, one of them is Randy and one of them is Marcus.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that as well.
And they treated Marcus so bad.
Poor Marcus. He was always having a pump on that bike.
Bad.
Yeah, they treated him really badly.
And I was so happy when Randy's car wouldn't start and Marcus was already on his way home. I was like, that's what you're asking.
Yeah, but then did you see how he did him when the thing went in his head? He was like, I'm not taking you to the hospital.
Yeah. Because they didn't want their parents to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're back together again. As well, the twins are back together again because now Reggie has Benji's back. Poor Benji, he couldn't change his name for the life of him. And I need to. What year did Benji the movie come out? Like,
that's like in the 80s though, isn't it?
Yes, that's.
Yeah, that was in the 80s as well. That's probably one of the reasons why you didn't want me to call Benji anymore either.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
it's because it's really, that cute little dog.
1974 was the.
Yep, 1974.
Yeah.
He was born in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So he wasn't too cool.
One of my favorite, one of my favorite things with the writing is on page. What page is this?
Let's see.
It's like on page 206, where he starts to write words with the pop.
With the onomatopoeia.
Yes!
Yeah.
The way where his dad starts.
Yeah.
You could tell his dad has a drinking problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way he uses the word of the pop of how him opening up the liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is a writer right here. Like,
it was.
Wow.
I have the same thing marked. I have exactly the same thing marked.
I was reading it and I said, like,
now that's something.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's like the way that kids tune their ears to things that they like that the regular person would miss. Like you talk about the gin breaking the ice in the glass.
Yeah.
The crack that the ice makes. Like nobody, and you're upstairs and you're noticing this. Like to the average listener, it's not going to sound like something that's this big thing or this big deal. Yeah. But to Benji, it was all signs of leading up to
something.
The blow up, and then it's out. Do I ask if I could change this channel? Okay, I changed. He said I could change the channel. I changed the channel. I went to go pee, and I came back, and he got this thing back on CNN. Do I just change it, or do I ask? Like, what's going to get me in the least amount of trouble? What's going to have the least amount of fallout?
But you see, that's where somebody in the comments, Dree Allen, she wrote, I think Benji is aware of the abuse, but too young to do anything about it. His mom is passive, and he admits that he is passive too, which is true.
Yeah.
He even says it. He even says it in there. He says,
like when Reggie comes down with the list of the things that the mom wrote, which were like the offenses that their father, did towards her, and Reggie came down and showed it to Benji, like, what is this? And Benji was like, put that back.
Put that back where you got it from.
Put it back where you got it
from. Dree Allen also on the chat says, I like that Whitehead treated Sag Harbor as a character and not just as a setting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that too.
I hate that I can't because I pulled it up on my work computer instead of bringing my laptop up here, so I can't sign in so I can comment.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with her. Yeah.
Was it you who said that your edition had a map? Because mine didn't have a map.
Mine had a map on.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine had a map at the front.
Yeah, mine didn't.
Oh
wait. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it does. You got the same edition as me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
But like, this place of Sag Harbor, I mean, it's a very old place, and it's even written that it's historically Black you know, part of Sag Harbor.
Oh, let me look up pictures of it. I actually.
I think that's a really cool thing about it.
Images of the area
of Sag Harbor.
Oh, it is beautiful.
Oh, somebody wrote in the comment section. Cassandra Greene, she wrote, "I have 2 boys, and they have done some extremely dumb things without thinking first." Well, Cassandra, let me tell you, I was reading this and saying, "Thank you, Jesus, I have 2 girls and not 2 boys," because that's too much. It's way too much for me.
Man, Sag Harbor is beautiful. Like,
yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Wow.
It's a very beautiful place.
I will say now, after reading this, I kind of, because it's kind of like the People's Court, like the names or Law and Order, the names and locations have been changed for, you know, to suit the novel. But there's a real life comparison or real life doppelganger to these places and these people.
Yeah.
In here. And like now, like I've never wanted to go to Sag Harbor because it's in New York. But now the curiosity factor, I want to see this ice cream shop.
I would love to go there.
I'm most concerned about the ice cream shop.
I think,
and I like on the map how it's written. It's Benjy's Sag Harbor.
Yeah,
I thought that was cute. Yeah,
because it's got the location, like it's got the place of the fist fight. It's got the place of the kids with the empty house. Rock the creek. It's got
the Azurist neighborhood
and the street that they went on where they ran into the Doberman.
Yeah, that was some mess on that one. That Doberman thing.
That was also plus. That's like the only positive vision that we get of his father.
Yeah,
his father explaining this to them so that they can understand how this dog was trained.
Yeah.
That was good on their dad's part. That's probably the only good thing he did in the
I think so, but it was pretty scary when they were when they were describing it. It was like I was like, "Get the hell out of there!"
This Sag Harbor is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Places,
but
Google Images, but
yeah.
Overall, like there's places that have been damaged by
I've seen that
nature too. But overall it is a gorgeous place.
Wow, it looks like almost like Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, I would say that's a very good comparison.
Wow, okay.
The other thing that happened in the book that it was amazing. Like
I like the music references. Yeah,
I like the music references, but the Coca-Cola.
That scene is hilarious. Oh my God!
Hilarious.
I was cracking up laughing.
It was hilarious, but I remember, and I was young. Like I'm not the same age that Benji would be. But I remembered that because my grandparents used to keep 6 packs with the old school bottles of Coca-Cola, and the year they changed the formula was the first summer I went to my grandparents' house, and there was no Coca-Cola between the refrigerator and the freezer. And I was like, "What happened?" And my granddad was like, "It's nasty." And then like a couple of years later, they were back again.
They were back again, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that they had took them out because me and my cousins used to like drink them. They would get 2 6-packs.
Yeah.
And between myself, I would be down for like 2 weeks. My cousin would come down for 1, and with the both of us there, that 6-packs were gone. Those 6-packs were gone. 12 bottles in like 5 days.
Well, yeah, I think it was people noticed when the formula was changed.
Yeah.
And there was this comparison with Pepsi, which most people that love Coke, they just say, "Oh, Pepsi's trash," you know. So like, nobody wants to drink Pepsi. It's not good, you know.
I only like Coke with rum now.
Oh, rum and Coke?
I cannot drink Coke by itself. But when he goes to steal a whole 6-pack in the party, I'm like,
yeah, and then got the cheek to drop the shit in the middle of the floor.
I was like, why did you walk on out the door?
Because he had to walk through all the people.
Because he's a dumb teenage boy. That's why.
Yes.
Did Denise pointed out on YouTube, you can see a live stream of the main street at Sag Harbor. Like it's just like a webcam.
Oh, well, you could probably see it on Google on
Yeah. Oh.
What is it? Google World or whatever that is.
Oh wow.
You know, when you could it goes down on the street and you can see the 360.
This is like almost voyeuristic. It's kind of like really
you see anybody you know?
No. Wow, this is actually really interesting. Like just okay.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on. You could just see people walking down the street.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's sort of like a Google
Denise,
thing.
you done started something.
This is so bizarre.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Young boys do dumb stuff. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do some dumb stuff. But you got boys, so you know. Cassandra, you got boys.
It's not just boys. Girls do dumb.
Not like the stuff I hear boys be doing. Girl, I got friends here with boys, and they be doing some stuff. Okay, and it never stops. Even when they're teenagers, they be doing stuff. Okay. Like they have no qualms with bringing a girl home and sleeping with her in their bedroom. No qualms. They do that. They don't care. I mean, I have friends with boys and they tell me that all the time. Like, oh yeah, they kept us up all night. They were making so much noise having sex. And I'm like,
no. You
let them
keep it up.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you.
Let them keep it up because they don't have a problem doing it because it's been okayed.
See, that's why.
Again, they ain't have Vicky for their mama. Mama, oh Lord.
Girl, they be letting their boys come home with their girlfriends and stuff. They be hearing them next door having sex, and I'd be like, no, that ain't gonna work. No.
The ending. What did y'all think of the ending with the bonfire? Because
so who was that boy?
This is the thing. Nobody knew who he was.
Who that little hellion boy?
No, but the thing was, who told Benji that was? Somebody told Benji that was.
Clive told Benji that it was MP's cousin.
MP's cousin.
And then
afterwards he's like, "That's not my cousin. I don't know that boy."
And then somebody else told MP that it was Benji and Reggie's cousin. And Benji was like, "Oh no, we don't know that dude."
Yeah, I don't know that dude. Yeah. So
the part that killed me was when they threw the bench in.
Then the battery,
the batteries, the couch.
They threw the batteries. It's like everything else was thrown in because the batteries did not give them
they didn't explode
reaction that they were expecting to have.
They wanted the battery to explode, and it wasn't going to explode, and it didn't. So they're like, "Oh God, what else can we throw in there now?"
I'm not gonna lie, that is something that's really fascinating to me. Like when I was a kid, to see what we could throw in the fire and see what will work.
See, I'm not that surprised by that. I'm not that surprised by that.
But the couch, I was like, "Oh, okay."
And they literally drug it right off of the balcony
and
threw it in there.
In the house partying, and it wasn't even that he was doing it in shadow. You couldn't hear this fucking couch being moved off of your balcony. No, because they were too busy talking and partying and having it. There's a lot of not surveying the kids in here. Like there's a lot of leaving them a lot of leave room as if though this is some way to get them to experience things or something, as if Sag Harbor is sort of like a babysitter. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Sag Harbor is the babysitter, so they don't have to worry because they are in their tight-knit community. And being that whites stay on that side, blacks stay on this side, and everybody knows everybody, literally. I want to know what happened when the homeowners went outside to go sit down while having their morning coffee and all their furniture was gone. Like, what was the fallout of this incident? Barry David, that was the boy's name.
That was what his name was. And then also just the whole idea of what is he trying to show in that? If anything, he starts to show some growth within the boys, I think, because as the guy is throwing the thing into the fire, they're literally checking themselves, going, "What the heck is he doing? Like, why is he like, wow?" You know, there's suddenly, it's almost like they've had a moment. They had a moment. They like kind of grew up. Like they kind of realized, like
they realized you watching this shit, you're gonna get in trouble too. That's what. That's what.
But I think they were mostly surprised, like you don't like drag people's furniture off and throw it in the fire. You know, they were. So I guess it's just a moment of yeah, they had some growth going on there.
And who? That whole. Again,
That whole
what happened when they got up in the morning and saw their furniture was gone?
Yeah, well,
When they what?
You know, when they saw their furniture was burned up, was gone.
Did they go picking through the ashes to see that it was thrown into the bonfire? Like the open-endedness of that. The open-endedness of that whole encounter is one of the things that I had an issue.
Yeah, that's why I'm at the 4.5 stage, is because of that. That's towards the end of the book, that ending is a little bit rough for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I didn't give it 5 stars.
I like it when
I
they
gave it 4.5 though.
Club. That's my favorite part.
Which part?
Say that again, Michael.
Where they go, like, well, one of my favorite. Well, it's one of my remembering part where they try to go to the club.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yo, that's so real though.
It is real, because I think we've all been through that. We've all tried to get into the club.
Like
15 years old trying to get in the club.
I never had a fake ID, because I learned real early that you just need to make sure that the people that are at the door are people you know.
I have.
Was UTFO a real group?
UTFO?
Like, was that a real? I didn't.
I don't know, but was that a group? Yeah.
Yep.
That must have been a hip hop group.
It is.
Isn't it a hip hop group?
Oh.
And it was funny when he was talking about Lisa and Cold Jam.
I pulled up Roxanne.
When he said Lisa, yeah, she was really short, but her boobs are really, really big.
Did Colson Whitehead ever meet them? Like, was that real? I wonder.
Say that again.
Now you have to be careful. Not everything in this is actually true.
Right.
Only some of it is. He's just inspiring from his.
But UTFO is real.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I had to pull up. I just pulled up Roxanne. I was like,
Roxanne. Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That I didn't know.
I remember Roxanne. Yeah.
I just could have sworn I muted.
And there's also I like the reference he did with Run DMC too. If I mark that one where he uses that the lyrics to one of their songs in there.
Dree on the chat says, "That's perfect, Dee Dee. The babysitter analogy. I think the destruction at the bonfire was an indication of neglect." Benji talked about how he and his brother love getting their haircuts by their father. Oh, I remember that part.
That's hilarious, that part. Yeah.
At least he was giving them undivided attention. Oh,
yeah, that's exactly right. Because because it was always like, if they moved, then he would keep cutting their hair if they move. So, you moved, now it's messed up. Now I've got to even it out. Mm-hmm. And they would wind up with a really, really short haircut, but it would look really, really good. Mm-hmm. But it's true. It's probably the only moment that they actually had, a real attention from their dad, because otherwise it was just,
And that summer is when he realized that, okay, your chicken's nasty,
mm-hmm.
and your haircuts were crap. And that's just like another, like the separation of, or losing that innocence
mm-hmm.
of the picture of your daddy.
Like that perfect, when you're a kid, a lot of the times you think adults are like perfect in a way, and they can't mess up. They're like they're in that echelon, but then as you grow older, you're realizing they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, like your parents can make mistakes. There is a line though that I really liked was, and I can't remember exactly where it is, I just wrote it down. Black boys with the beach houses, a paradox to the outside, but it never occurred to us that there was anything interesting, anything strange about it. That line I thought was really interesting because that's like one of the moments when you can see Benji is actually trying to he's basically grappling with his identity, you know, like who he is as a person, that he like no one's going to look at me and think that I'm, you know, that my parents own a house in Sag Harbor or that I'm from a middle class.
They don't. His mama,
you know,
Sag Harbor.
Exactly. It's his mom. It's true. Nobody's going to think that he's from this background. And I think that's like one of the first moments, because I think this line is somewhere in the beginning of the book. I can't remember. And so I think this is one of the first moments where you see him grappling with his identity. It's even before, I think it's even before the part where he starts talking about wanting to be called Ben instead of Benji.
Yeah.
I think this one is first, and then after that, it's the, you know, no, call me Ben kind of thing.
And the one girl who finally calls him Ben
Melanie.
He gets a lot from that chick that summer. He gets to be called.
Yeah. Part where they almost got caught.
And he gets a kiss.
Yeah, and he gets a kiss. But then he also got his elbow against the girl's boobs at work. The elbow against the girl's boobs at work.
Yo, that was very.
Let me get my elbow in there again.
That was very interesting. That, and even when he wasn't trying to, it was like you missed me today.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was hilarious. That's very funny.
Oh, yeah, it was very funny.
That was funny.
Well, when I mentioned about like memory, I wrote on here. It said that Melanie kissed him when they were 5, but he couldn't.
Yeah, he doesn't remember it.
He doesn't remember. But then when he goes to remember, he doesn't. He still barely remembers her. He remembers the house.
Like
the house.
Her, which was like. Oh.
But don't you think that's kind of normal? A girl would remember that.
It's
a very girl thing to remember that if you were like 5 and you were chasing a boy around trying to kiss him. Absolutely. 5 years old, because like most 5-year-old boys are not into that kind of thing.
But she was 5. He wasn't.
He wasn't. Yeah.
He wasn't. So he was like not even paying attention to her.
No.
Like she remembers being reprimanded by her parents for chasing him, and
like they had to like separate them or something because she was literally following me around like a little dog trying to kiss him all the time.
Absolutely no memory of her whatsoever. So he didn't even see her, which is not abnormal for a boy. Because girls are gross.
No, but I liked it when he was talking about the radio station. The radio station he liked to listen to, that his dad didn't like to listen to.
But
and that little part where he said, "Oh yeah, I was doing my normal." How was he calling it? My normal caressing of myself, and he was talking about licking his tongue around his teeth.
Yes.
Girl, that cracked me up when he said that. It's like, no, I wasn't masturbating. I was licking my tongue around my teeth because I just got my braces off, you know. Big deal. I thought that was very funny. But I thought there was something interesting about that because he wasn't the only one in the family who liked that channel. Someone else liked it too. And I think it was the mom. Because whenever the dad would go to put the radio on, it was always on that channel.
Already on that channel.
Didn't like, yeah.
And then everybody, see, my mom's response to that was growing up when I was growing up was, well, we must have a ghost. Whenever and I was the only kid in the house, and I would say I didn't do it, and she and my stepdad knew they didn't do it, and so her response was, so we have a ghost. That was what she said. I know you're lying.
Yeah, wow. That didn't work for me. I was only child, so.
it didn't work for me either. I found
It
out
didn't
when I
work.
was older that she knew I was lying.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I liked Bernie M wrote, I could not get I wonder if you take me home out of my head for a couple of days. I was saying, wonder if you take me home. Would you still be enough, baby? Let's see. What else have I written on my notes?
The talk about the kinds of evil with the comparison.
Oh yeah, that was
video
funny.
to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah,
I think I marked that as well.
Good, evil,
that was in the
neutral,
middle of the book somewhere.
Lawful evil, chaotic
lawful evil. Yeah.
Lawful good. I was like,
see, but that's the genius of Colson Whitehead, that kind of thing. That's like the genius of his writing. I don't know. He's really a smart guy. So like he tells you a lot in little sequences like that. Through that, the evils, but also through the page you said you liked in the beginning. Let's see, what was that? The modifier, the in verb and the object. That's clever, Colson Whitehead, because there's stuff that's a little bit like that in the Underground Railroad as well. There's a brilliance in how he writes. It definitely amazing.
Makes me want to read his other works.
Absolutely. But the thing is, I mean, I read the Underground Railroad, and that's a completely different book than reading Sag Harbor. And I find that fascinating that he can write such different types of stories. You know, because he even mentioned zombies in here a lot, and you know he has a zombie story.
Yeah.
I think it's called Zone 1.
Oh,
really? I won't be.
Yeah, he's got a zombie book as well. I'm about ready to get the zombie one.
He been writing because.
Oh yeah, he's been writing.
Oh yeah, he's got a nice back list of books to read. I have this one. I had the Underground, but I also have the zombie one, I think, and I have the Intuitionist.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So all of his books are very different.
4 different kinds of books.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you watch the video of him, he even talks about this idea of, he says once he's written a book, he doesn't see any reason why he needs to go back and write the same book again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's great.
You know, he says like, well, if you've done it, he's so like, for example, Sag Harbor is his contribution to writing about the coming of age. I feel like he's done it really well. He don't need to write another one, you know.
No.
He's done one on slavery. He did the Underground Railroad. Come on, girls. Stay with me. He doesn't need to write it. He doesn't need to keep writing the same book over and over again, because there are writers, that's what they do. They write, like if they want to write about Family Saga, guess what? There are 10 books about Family Sagas, you know. Mm-hmm. So if you don't feel like you can add more to it, he feels like, well, kind of like do it full blown and get into it and do it really well, and then move on and write something completely different. But I think it's also because he has a lot of interest anyway, because he makes references to zombies in here quite a few times, which is kind of a boy thing, teenage thing.
Isn't it in reference to a video game? That's the thing that got me. And I guess I could have saved myself some teasing when I was in school had I had this mindset, like to hide once you realize that people don't like what you're talking about, to not talk about it anymore with those people. Because like when he has the lawful evil conversation with one-sided conversation with one of his classmates when he's in school about the teacher, and the guy and the boy knows what he's talking about, but he's like, don't say that here. Like, scoots over from him, and so that was a lesson to him, just not to talk about it anymore. I didn't take those lessons. I don't care if you don't want to talk about it. You don't listen, damn it. That's how I was when I was in school. Just listen. You only got to say nothing, but I got to talk about this to somebody. I'm reading the comments.
Yeah, I was reading to see if there was anything new. There's something else I want to ask you guys. What do you think about this cover? Do you like this cover?
I like that cover better than the other one with the yellow and green.
I like it. It's the vibe of the book. So.
Well, this is the thing. You see, I was talking to Books and Rhymes, and she was saying she didn't like this cover. Mm-hmm. But then she hadn't read the book. So I said, girl, come on now. I said, this cover is awesome because it's just like the book, you know.
The only issue I have with this cover are the tennis shoes on the beach.
Oh God, shoebies. Oh, shoebies are the worst.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's the only issue I have with this cover. But the only other cover that I saw was that yellow and green one with the harsh triangular line.
Yeah.
I didn't like
I don't like that one. Mm-mm.
Right.
So I was trying to explain to her.
This one feels
like
more
what
relaxed.
Yeah.
Than that other one. Like. I think if they had found a way to combine the two, because this feeling is what I was expecting when I went into this.
Yeah.
Into the story, and this is not what I got. So maybe if they had found a way.
Okay, so now that brings me to my next statement.
Okay.
Do you think that my next question, because I wrote this down as a thing. Do you think Benji fits the stereotype of a 1980s teenager?
Probably so, because everybody was really nerdy back then. It wasn't the thugged out lifestyle that we see Black teenage boys portrayed as now. To me, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know about the 80s teenager because I wasn't a teenager in the 80s.
Me either, but I guess thinking about the shows from back then.
I do agree with Alicia. I like the portrayal of the 80s teenage boy more than I like the portrayal of the 90s and 2000s teenage boy.
Okay, yeah. Well, I grew up in the 80s, so I will say, yeah, he kind of fits that kind of stereotype of, you know, the 80s teenage boy. But back to the cover. I think it was, so Books and Moms was saying she didn't think the cover, she didn't think it was a pretty cover or whatever, and I said, well, it fits the book, you know. And then we started
pretty.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we started talking about the covers, and you know, I said, well, you know, she said, well, if I was in the bookstore, I'd walk right past that cover, and I said, I wouldn't.
There was a black person on the cover.
Hell, that's what I said. I said, are you kidding me? There's a black person on the cover. She said, oh, well, you know, would you just, you know, pick it up for that? I said, well, yeah, I would, because there's not very many books that put black people on the cover. And I'm not talking about the urban lit section. Right. Okay. I'm talking about the literary fiction contemporary section.
Not the urban lit section and not the romance section.
No, exactly. I said, you do not see that. Most publishers avoid putting black people on the front of the cover for some reason.
And you know, when I realized that, Dee, when I first saw Kindred in the store, this was when I was in college. When I first saw Kindred by Octavia Butler in the store, what made me stop and pick that up was that there was this, not just a black girl on the cover, but a black girl in a potato sack dress with short natural hair on the cover. That's what made me pick it up and read the first chapter of that book, standing in Barnes and Noble.
Well, this is pretty much what I told her. I said, you know, I said, if you're looking in the contemporary lit section, and you see a book with a black person, I'm picking it up just to see what's going on, you know, to see if I'm interested. So I think the cover is great, because I don't know, this was done, when was this book written? This book was written in 2009. So you probably could imagine that there was even less books with, you know, black people on the cover in 2009. I mean, you know,
Rosa said, except the European/UK versions, they aren't as shy about putting black people on the cover.
Well,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm not surprised.
Cassandra said on as far as the cover goes, he has a button down.
It's a button down.
It could have been the end of August going into September where it was cooler.
It also looks like on the beach too. This doesn't look like one of those really beautiful white sand beaches. It looked like a little more rocky.
Yeah, a rocky one.
Yeah. So that's probably why he has shoes. But like, where I grew up in the Philippines, the beach was black because of the volcano. So the beach was black. So this was really cool when you walk further enough, you could see the black sand start to transition to like normal white sand. It was like really cool.
That's another part that I literally forgot about until you just said that about the sand. The black beach that's near me, which was a segregated black beach in the 60s, it is a rocky beach.
Yeah, it's
not the water is rocky. To get into the water is a very uncomfortable walk, and that was the black beach where black folk could go in the 60s during the time of segregation. And so that's one of the things too. Once I read about the segregation of the island, what was the white, the white area versus the black area, and I noticed on the cover, I was like, oh shit, that's Buckrow.
Well, you know they want to go give them the nicest beach to go to.
Yeah, this is the problem. But there's another thing we didn't talk about is when they go swimming at the beach, and there's that scene where he's swimming and he's gone out too far and he tries to put his feet on the ground and he can't, and he panics. And I think that seems really good because that just shows.
But he panics coolly, like he panics calmly.
Yeah, he's like, "Can you help me?" And he goes, and he like pulls him a little bit. But I thought that was interesting just because that just shows his level of not being sure of himself.
Yeah.
In a lot of different areas. But he's very good at going along with the group, but he's still not sure of himself.
He couldn't ask anybody else for help but Clive.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I wrote on here his dad was a feet doctor.
Oh, he was a podiatrist.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, whoa. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably was making hand over fist money.
But I put on here that he couldn't swim.
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah.
No.
He never took swimming lessons.
And that's why he said he always kept his feet on the ground, except there he let himself be taken a bit by the current.
Right.
And he
knew about undertow and he understood it.
Yeah, because his mom was telling him about it. Be careful for the, for the for the undercurrent.
You'll get caught in the undertow and drown. Those little fears that parents unknowingly set upon their kids.
And then there's even the part before where he even says how he can feel that undertow, even though he's got his feet well planted on the ground, but he can feel it like that tug. That he could just be swept away, if he wasn't,
if he lifted his feet up.
Exactly. So that kind of is like a little bit of an analogy, kind of metaphor of his family situation and stuff. And
I missed that. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I totally missed that because I was so caught up in knowing what that feels like. And like being far out enough in the water, because like if you go to Hilton Head Island, like the area where you can actually walk out into the water is so far depending on where the tide is. And so I know what that feeling is, to feel the natural flow of the water and feel what that contrary tug is from the undertow. And so that's what I was stuck on. I was like, oh shit. Well, we know he don't die because he's telling the story.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, he can't swim. Oh dear. No, I just think it's a good metaphor for his, the difficulty in his family life, and just his difficulty is, he's trying to maneuver being a teenager, and
that I also like the part where the electricity goes out, and then he had to go back. He went back to the ice cream.
Oh, and he left the door open?
Yeah, he left the door open.
And I was like,
He was passive aggressive trying to get MP in trouble because they knew that MP was the last person to go into that freezer.
Exactly.
He was trying to passive aggressively get rid of some competition.
I was like, oh.
That's what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it sounded like. I mean, and he had no qualms with that because he went back to work the next day and they were like, you know, the ice cream had melted,
and
the door was open.
And then all of a sudden there was a sign.
Yeah, it says,
close the damn freezer.
Close the freezer, tighten the thing. Yeah, everything that they didn't do. So, yeah, I mean, boys will be boys, teenagers. I don't know what to tell you.
Rebecca, we discussed the barbecue a little. Wait, which barbecue?
We discussed the
Labor Day one or
the one where he went off on his wife about the freaking paper plates.
Yeah, we
did
we discuss that here or before?
No, we discussed that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we kept saying, how come he couldn't double the damn plates?
Right, yeah, that's right.
What's wrong with doubling the plates? Why is this man tripping? He's tripping.
I wonder if the chicken would have tasted better had that not happened beforehand. But he was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like he was waiting because of the whole preamble with the sound and everything from the drinks that his dad was making. He was waiting for that other shoe to drop for his dad to lose his shit.
But his dad was obsessive about his fucking barbecuing because it was like, oh, you can only put salt, pepper, and paprika on this chicken. That's all you need. That's all it needs. Salt, pepper, and paprika. And then he asked Benji, do you want barbecue sauce? He's like, I don't know. And he said, it's a simple question. Just answer it.
But that part of Benji got on my nerves. Because that part of Benji, I'm like, you know how your father is. Say yes or no. That part of him got on my nerves.
I don't understand why he was asking anyway, because he kept telling everybody, my chicken don't need nothing. It don't need no barbecue sauce. So I got salt, pepper, and paprika. My chicken is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I think his chicken was dry as fuck, but whatever.
I think so too. But everybody else who came to get some chicken said that his chicken was good. And I was like, you need more. You need more.
Salt, pepper, and paprika. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whatever.
And some charcoal. Rub the charcoal on the chicken.
Yeah. Rosa K says, I liked how that old lady put that bully cousin visiting for the weekend in check. After he ran off, she was smiling. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
That was good, but his butt came back and started burning furniture.
Oh, Lord.
And no one knew. But you know what? That happens. It's like summer crashers.
Yeah, somebody's crashing the party.
That actually happens, especially when you're having a huge neighborhood function.
Yeah.
And
if there's a lot of people.
All of you know everybody, but there's always that wild card, and it's the pass is that's so-and-so's cousin. So that's Nick's fault because Nick is the one who said that was MP's cousin, and Nick is the one who told MP that was Benji's cousin. Nick knew who he was.
Yeah. Oh, Cassandra said, I felt Benji was afraid to answer to barbecue chicken question because he thought he would be answering the wrong way.
That's right.
Which is fairly true, you know. I mean, that dad was going off for the freaking paper plate. So
Caroline said people lied to him about that cardboard chicken just for you got to be real hungry.
You got to be
real hungry.
Well, I mean, you know, after he had pitched a bitch about the plates, made his wife go out and find plates, and the woman that she was talking to, he was like, come on and get some chicken, and she took a wing and got the hell out of there, you know. She probably threw that wing out.
She took the smallest piece of chicken she could get.
She probably took a wing, and on the way out when nobody was looking, threw that up in the, you know, the bushes or something, because paprika, salt, and pepper. Okay.
You can't get over that.
I can't get over that. Because I mean,
would you eat them wings, Michael?
No. Come on now. You gotta put more than that on your chicken. You better get that chicken in that marinade overnight. He's not even marinating his stuff. He's just putting salt, pepper, and paprika. That's some dry ass chicken.
And
I'm sorry.
what's never talked, or did I miss it? Did I read over it? They talked about the line of people who were coming for the hamburgers, the line of people who were coming for the hot dogs. Was there a line for his daddy chicken at the Labor Day cookout?
I don't remember them talking about a line for that, but I'm sure that line was short, okay? Because
Cassandra on the chat says, Image was everything to the podiatrist who didn't pay his electricity, who didn't pay his electric bill.
Exactly.
The podiatrist and lawyer who didn't pay their electric bill.
That's the thing. It's like, was automatic payment not available? Well, probably not.
No, you had to pay with a check. This is the 80s. Come on now.
Oh, I forgot.
You gotta pay that with a check or cash. You can go down there and pay cash.
I didn't even think like you couldn't call and make your payment over the phone.
No, you can't. You got to go down there and pay cash, or you got to send a check on time.
So you got to do it a few days before the actual due date because of the mail. Oh my goodness.
Those were the days.
Wow.
Snail mail.
Wow.
Snail mail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Technology.
Technology, yeah.
I wish I had a time machine, Michael, just to give you like 1984 for a day.
Oh my goodness. Well,
look.
It's interesting because it's always interesting for me, anyways, reading like books set around, especially this time, since I was born way later in the 80s, like 1989. But then also, it's always so different. It's so different from the Philippines and like how things were there. So it's like always interesting for me. Do you guys think? Dre says, I'm sure his parents divorced eventually. I'm reminded of the note that the mom wrote listing all the abuses she suffered. Seems like she was getting the courage to leave.
Yeah.
Either that or she was in counseling.
Yeah, one or the other, yeah.
That's probably my first thought was that
because she had that shit bulleted. You know, it's like point, dot, point. You know, so it's either one or the other, yeah. But you know, the thing about the 80s is that, you know, you can pretty much say it's the same now, except we just didn't have cell phones.
Right.
So, you know, when people start, you know, get freaking out about their kids' cell phone, you know, being flat and stuff like that, I just laugh because like in the 80s, you said you were at a party, at your friend's party, whatever. Your parents didn't know where your ass was. Yeah, you really know where you were. And there was no way for them to know unless they got in their car and drove over there to see if you were actually there.
Or they called the parents.
Or they called the person.
Or they called the parents and said, hey, is, you know, so-and-so there, you know. But I mean, you never really knew what your kids were doing.
When they went to go see the wretched.
You know, but it's the same nowadays, except nowadays I think it's worse because parents then they just get overly teased by what they see on Instagram or what they see on Snapchat or whatever. That must make them crazy because, you know, they don't know what they you know, they see glimpses of what their kids are doing.
It's gonna be like when I tell my niece, I need you to drop me your location so I can know where you are right now.
I don't know what you're gonna do. I do not know what you're gonna do when Mael gets old enough to really talk back and give you Michael back. I don't know what you're gonna do. I just hope you record.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready with my comebacks.
Uh-oh. She might surprise you because she might be picking up on all your comebacks now.
I know. That's probably. But yeah, I think that's it. Anything else?
I can't think of anything else. We pretty much covered what I had written on my notes. Unless you guys can think of something else, or if is anybody that's watching, do you guys have any questions?
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Or anything you want to?
I've just been reading off the comments, so we're up to the current comment now.
Okay.
So
yeah, the last one I see is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're caught up because we answered.
We answered, I think, a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I did like also. This is just like a quick thing when Ben got his braces off. Because I remember that feeling, and it was literally the best thing ever. It makes you so happy when it comes off, and you just smile for days, like for no reason, just smiling.
I want to see pictures of Colson Whitehead smiling as a kid, because the way he described how jacked up his teeth were, I need to see that.
Yeah, well, his teeth ain't jacked up now.
I know, that's, but I'm like, the way he, like,
because he looked good.
How messed up Benji's teeth were. I was like, this has to be like autobiographical, because
that is one good looking man, Colson Whitehead. Let me tell you, that is one good looking man.
I did go looking through Google Images trying to find pictures of him, like close-ups, straightforward, to see if there was a split in his eyebrow.
with the mysterious. Well, you know what? Maybe he changed the positioning, that it wasn't in the face and it was in the back or somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, that's what they usually do, writers. You know, even if it's the incident happened, they'll change like.
But the doctor's response, he goes to ask him as an adult about taking it out, and the doctor's like, "It ain't killed you yet."
Yeah. That made me crack up laughing, whatever. That's like, oh wow, you know. And, or I should tell everybody about
the chat says, what did you? Well, we talked about it, but what did you guys think when Benji's hair got touched by the boss? And
it wasn't a
sort
touch.
And it was sort of okay.
That was a pet, and that was weird.
It wasn't a touch. It was a pet, and it was reassurance that he was not black.
Yeah. I love it how they are like trying to figure out if he's black or not because he's Dominican. But it kind of went with the subject before when they were talking about the colorism and you know, oh, this person, which one of the kids is so light skinned? Is it Randy?
I was thinking it may be Randy, because Randy
that's so light skinned that you know he almost looks white. I think it's Randy. I can't remember now. It kind of goes with that whole situation. And even the dad makes a comment about the woman that comes over when he's barbecuing, I think.
About how cute she is. That's the kind of woman that you want.
Yeah, you need a woman who's gonna look good when they're 40. If you want to know what the girl is gonna look like, just look at her mom. And then she said that the woman that came over was attractive and dark. He had made like some kind of commentary about the woman being dark or whatever. Yeah. And I just thought, ugh, God, these people are killing me with the colorism. Killing me.
I'm trying to look for the.
Yeah, when his hair gets touched by
reference to Randy.
It's in the beginning, I think, when they mentioned that he is fair skinned. Let's see.
Caroline says, "I'm from the Caribbean, and old folks tend to do that pat on your head, like if you are a pet."
They would kick me out of the Caribbean, Caroline.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm about to say.
That is. Oh, gee, like when I read that, I had to put the book down.
Yeah, that was weird. It was weird, and he's done that on purpose. He's put those references in here on purpose. So he tries to put them in a situation to make them so that some people will see them differently from other people, but you pretty much see them from the point of view of who you are. You know, if you're a black person or if you're a white person, whatever, you see it from your point of view. And that's what he does on purpose, is to get us to think about the thing a little bit more. So what would you guys read next from Colson Whitehead? Or would you read anything from Colson Whitehead next?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially after hearing what you said about him not doing the same books over and over again. Because like the things that, okay, take that out. The things that I didn't like about this book had to do with the kind of story that it was and how the story was told. The lack of connection, the lack of, it wasn't a linear story. And
no, it's not a linear story.
Linear stories. And non-conclusiveness
Mm.
of the of the story. It didn't, even when you get to the end, you like the story's not over and there's fucking nothing else.
Well, it's just that's the only thing. I mean, in my point of view, that is the only thing that really falls down is the end. The end could be a little bit better.
Yeah, so I would definitely read something else by him just to see how much I like that in comparison to this, how I read that in comparison to how I read this.
Mm.
I would definitely go check out his other books. My favorite part is his writing style.
Alicia's
he's an excellent
like,
writer.
hell no.
I guess I'm gonna be the oddball. No, because this is my.
Are you kidding me?
At
There
reading
are some
Colson Whitehead.
passages that are priceless. They're priceless. Some of the passages he writes. Beautiful writing.
You said this is your third chance?
Third attempt. Yeah.
Oh.
And I can't. His writing is not. It's not that it's not good or that he's not a smart writer. It's just something about the stories are not flowing for me.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't write. He's not very linear in the way he tells the story. In this one, he's not very linear. In Underground Railroad, I guess you could say it's more linear. I would say it's more linear, but it's there's some elements to it that make it kind of a broken up story for more than one reason. But it's a really good book, the Underground Railroad. But I think that's also some of the things that happen in a lot of literary fiction is sometimes told out of sync or in parts or just a slice bit of the person's life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's either something you really like or you can't get a hold of. So for example, like when we did The Hoe.
Oh.
I didn't read that one.
So good.
I did not. That was a total miss for me.
Oh, so good, that book.
That was a total miss for me.
It was like, but you see, that's another one. It's kind of got like that kind of broken up feel to it. And so,
no, that one actually felt linear. It felt more linear as I was reading it, but nothing was happening. Like for me,
yeah, because it's told from one person's point of view. And that has a lot to do with it as well. A lot of books that are told from one person's point of view are often told in a way that they almost feel like monologues, so it's almost a slight stream of consciousness writing.
That's exactly what it felt like.
Sometimes you have to, some books like that, if you you don't like that kind of thing, then there's certain authors you should stay clear away from.
Yeah.
One of them
talked about what she
Zadie
did
Smith,
with the Hoe,
because she writes a little bit like that. I like that, and it comes off really good when she does it. But I mean, if you don't like that, then yeah, you should be careful, to stay away from certain, writers. But
now when she talks about what she did with the Hoe, when she talks about going through, now, I read the part when she talked about what she did with the Hoe like 3 times. I was like, I missed something. Wait a minute. And then the thing about the sugarcane fields and those things were interesting to me, but just
that, and when she talks about going to America on the train and the train being segregated, and I just loved everything about that book. Loved it. But I can understand why you didn't love it.
She wants to read The Intuitionist next.
Yeah, that's probably a good one to pick up next. A lot of people say they like that book.
Rebecca D asked, can I ask what others enjoyed about Underground Railroad, because I didn't enjoy it. I liked the writing so much more in Sag Harbor. So she liked Sag Harbor better than she liked
the Underground Railroad.
The Underground Railroad.
That's possible, because the Underground Railroad is a little bit challenging. It is a bit challenging.
Rosa says, I agree with Pretty Brown Eye. I didn't love this one, but I will look at Underground Railroad one day. That said, I think it's important to have a coming-of-age story from a Black male perspective.
Exactly.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Because the last one, well, I personally love Native Son, but...
Oh, yeah. Native Son is awesome.
Native Son had me laughing out loud.
Native
Kiss it
son
to
is,
make it better. If you like
yeah.
looking at it so much,
That
kiss
book
it.
made me
Whatever
go
he
through.
says to his grandmother, get her ready to kill his tail.
Yeah.
That book made me go through the emotion because I was like, do I like you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Like you kind of did stuff really bad, but I still
Yeah.
kind of rooting for you in a way. Is that all the comments? I think
so. I
Yeah,
don't see
Moses is the
anything.
last one.
So everybody would pick up something except for Alicia.
Alicia's ahead of the game. She's picked up. This is her third.
Yeah, that was the third.
What is the other one that you read?
The one about the zombies, I tried that one, and then the intuitionist, I tried to read that one, and I just couldn't. So when Oprah announced the Underground Railroad, I said, "Oh no, I ain't fooling with that."
But you might be able to get into Underground Railroad. It's written. It's weird. I mean, I kind of felt like it felt like a dystopian novel when you're reading it, which is it's really odd. It's not what you expect, but it has a dystopian feel to it.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'll say give it a go. Give it a go. Give it a go, girl.
That'll be my fourth attempt.
Try.
I typically don't do well, like with all of the books from the Oprah's book club.
Yeah.
The only ones that have been enjoyable reads for me were Cane River.
Yeah.
Memoirs of a Geisha.
All right.
Yeah, steampunk.
And that may be it. I got a friend of mine let me borrow, one of my coworkers, let me borrow her copy of An American Marriage.
Oh, I'm going to be reading that over the holidays.
So she covered it up for me.
Now, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that one. So that would be
I haven't started it yet.
I haven't started, but I'm going to read it over the holidays. So when I come back, if people want to, we can maybe do a live chat and discuss An American Marriage. Because it's true. A bunch of people have been saying, "Oh, we want to know what you think about that." And they be going like that.
And you notice that I didn't say that because
that's what everybody keeps saying. I said, "Damn, what's in the book?"
I don't think Tayari is going to hit with you. So I'm like,
I'll admit, I did read Silver Sparrow years ago. I really enjoyed it, but I hated that ending.
Okay, I haven't read Silver Sparrow. I read The Untelling, and I have Leaving Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll pick up reading Atlanta. I remember seeing Troy Towell's review on that, and he was like not over the moon about it at all.
Yeah, but what he didn't like about Leaving Atlanta is what I like about her writing.
Oh dear. So
yeah, but he didn't, because there's a level of detachment in her writing.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what Troy didn't like about Leaving Atlanta. It just made me more excited to read it because I'm like, okay, so because it's even in The Untelling, and The Untelling is could be a very emotional story for what happens to that character, the main character in that novel, what she experiences, and it's not.
So that means, because I have The Untelling as well, so I'm gonna have to try try The Untelling after, but I'm gonna definitely pick up An American Marriage over the holidays and see what that's all about. Because people keep telling me, we want to know what you think, because
So was Silver Sparrow her first novel? Because the ending was horrid. I'm sure she's grown as a writer since then.
Yeah, the ending of Silver Sparrow was whack. That's all I gotta say. It's whack. That's not gonna work. But yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Colson Whitehead, definitely I will be reading something. I don't know what, either The Intuitionist or the zombie one. One of those. One of those two.
I'm looking at the Oprah's book club, the full list. I only read 8.
Well, some of her books, she picks books, and I'm thinking, Oprah, them people ain't gonna want to read that. I mean, that's like when they read. She had Ruby on that list as well.
Oh,
like, okay. Come on, Oprah, stop torturing your people.
I'll be right back. Buffy needs to go out.
Okay. No, it's just like Oprah.
It's like she picks books that are so harsh that are just like. you can't believe that people actually went through this stuff or something, and it's not something that you would think that she's wanting people to feel good about.
Cassandra said, like Ruby, ugh.
Yeah.
No, the thing that just gets me about Ruby is that when she originally wrote the book, it was like 800 pages. And they just said, "No, boo, you're gonna have to shorten this." So then she said, "Okay, now it's gonna be a generational trilogy." And I went, "I'm out." I read the first one, I was just like, "I'm out."
Well, what
Die
happened to books
Boo
2 and
and the
3?
rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Book 2, I don't know when it's coming out, but apparently, apparently that's what she said it was going to be, an intergenerational trilogy. It's been how many years since Ruby? 2 years since Ruby was out. 2 years. So I don't know.
2, isn't it?
Oh my gosh! Wait, it's on sale.
2 or 3.
The ebook is only $2 right now.
Because don't nobody want to read that, Michael.
$2. Oh,
don't nobody want to read that? Come on now.
And you can buy.
Look, somebody put my dollar store had Ruby on the shelf for at least 3 years.
You can buy used copies for like $5. Wow.
Dree says dead. Laugh out loud. Yeah, sounds like Oprah is out too. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because Oprah's got like she's got Tyree Jones, hooked up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got to choose what you got to choose. But Oprah's she usually chooses particularly harsh books, intense, very intense. And I think sometimes what you should do is loosen up and maybe just get one that's like a regular, contemporary or whatever that's not so intense. It's a lot, I mean, it's like any book club. I don't think there's any book club out there that's going to want to read one intense book after the next,
right?
Every year. I mean, everybody would just be exhausted from reading intense books, so
that's like me trying to read Toni Morrison. I took a break in the middle.
Yeah, because that's intense.
You need to.
It's intense.
It's a lot.
People that say they're going to read a Toni Morrison every month, I just laugh when I hear that. Because I say, clearly you haven't read any. Because if you had, you wouldn't be saying that. I mean, because that's hard reading to do. I mean, it's not easy. It not only is the reading not easy, but then the themes within the book are just, heartbreaking.
I found the same thing with Gloria Naylor too, that it was hard to go through that. Her catalog. Yeah,
because these are pretty intense themes that they have running through their books.
Oh yeah, now there's like other celebrities, Rebecca's talking about it, who have like book clubs.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon has one.
Jimmy Fallon started one. Yeah.
The Children of Blood and Bone was his pick for.
Yeah.
Cassandra said Cynthia Bond thought that was going to be her beloved. Well, yeah. Okay. Whatever, girl.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Because I just and
I'm sipping the tea.
That one. Beloved was so good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet, Michael.
That's an awesome book. When do you want to read it? Because you said you wanted to read it with me.
Because I mean, I'm open.
Because we can read it together.
I don't make like schedules to read things anymore.
Well, we could, if you want, we could read it like in November.
That's fine. That works.
And then that way
it was so good.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I mean, it's been a while since I've read it, though.
It's also one of those books where, like, I kind of wish I could reread it again, like, for the first time. It was, there's a part in there where it goes into poetry to verse, and my goodness, I was like, wow, you are writing, Miss Morrison. You are writing. You are writing right now. It was so good.
Oh no, I've already read it. I've read Beloved, and so has. Haven't you read it, Alicia? Beloved?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Years
we've
ago.
all read it except for musical. Tati hasn't read it,
For
but
me.
I would be willing to read it with you again because it's been a while since I've read it. I wanted to pick that one for a read along, and everybody was
For
like,
February.
"Oh no!" Everybody was like,
Yeah.
"No."
I remember.
I like Tar Baby as a discussion though. That was good.
I like Tar
Yeah.
Baby. It's just I think Tar Baby is one of those books that's never discussed and that people don't even think about reading.
Yeah.
Because they're overshadowed by reading Song of Solomon and Beloved and The Bluest Eye. And so they don't think about Tar Baby. That's one of the ones that's like a forgotten old book, but it's a really good book, Tar Baby.
Okay, so I'm looking at this list and I own some of these books that I didn't know were Oprah books. And I've read like Anna Karenina was an Oprah book. I read that in high school.
I haven't read that one yet. I need to read that one.
I hated it.
You didn't like it?
Part of me wants to read it again because I read it in 11th grade. And so I think I may have just hated it because it was a signed reading.
That might have been why you hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking if anybody have any more questions or comments before we go.
So, Didi, are we going to do a read along for the British Black History Month in October? Is it October?
Yeah, why not? We could. I mean,
I had a little note in my.
I thought it was November.
It's in November. It's in November. Okay. Black History Month in the UK. But we have to figure out what to read.
I think I put it in my October notes, maybe anticipating for November. Then
for November.
Is it November?
I'll probably. I'm gonna try to figure out what what some possibilities that we could read. That people would be interested in, but I'm going to try to pick some books that people probably don't know. So that we can, because I mean, we could easily pick something Zadie Smith, but everybody knows her, and I was thinking, we need to discover some other British Black authors that we don't talk about so much. So,
and Edwidge Dondicat, she's
she's Haitian.
Okay.
She's Haitian American.
Did you recently get Crick Crack?
Yeah, Crick Crack.
I got Crick Crack and Breath Eyes Memory.
Yeah.
Crick Crack. Oh god.
Crick Crack is so good.
Oh my god.
I got Crick Crack because of Didi's review.
It's awesome. Crick Crack is a really good book.
And then
High Frequency Beauty. I agree. I had Things Fall Apart as a sign reading the same year.
Yeah, Things Fall Apart is good too.
And I loved that story.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah, Things Fall Apart and Fahrenheit 451 were my two favorite assigned readings in high school.
Well, I just Googled like British Black authors and I just realized I don't know a lot of these authors.
Well, I was thinking about To Sir with Love.
I've never read that.
Yeah, it's by
Braithwaite.
Yeah, it's a book.
Years ago.
Everybody knows To Sir with Love, the movie with
Sidney Poitier.
Well, there's also the book.
I had no idea it was a book.
So I was thinking about that one, but I was thinking, man, let me skim that a little bit and see, what it's really like. And then there was another one. Oh God, what was it? I was thinking of another one that was
who?
To Sir with Love. It's by, I think his last name is Braithwaite. Something like that. Braithwaite, I think it is.
Yeah, E.R. Braithwaite.
And I can't think there was somebody else I had thought of as well. Oh, there's that woman, Diana Evans.
Oh, that somebody mentioned in the
it's true. She is as well.
Yeah, she's this too that I found.
She's Black British, and then there's also Kumsum. Koomson. I think it's Koomsom. She's a black British.
Koomson.
Dorothy Koomson, exactly. So she's a possibility as well. She writes contemporary stories. And then who else was I thinking of?
The one that's popular that I see a lot on BookTube is Knots and Crosses. That used to be.
Oh, that's Mallory Blackman.
Yeah.
Blackman, whatever her name
is. It's M-A-N.
Yeah, that's the YA Knots and Crosses, which is very popular as well. What is it, 4 books or 3?
And the reviews, I want to say it's 3. The reviews are across the board. Like, for as many people who love it, there are
as many people who hate it.
Who don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, 4. I just pulled up her site.
I can't. Wait, let's see.
Anna says, "What's the book you guys mentioned before Native Son?"
The Polished Hoe.
Oh, The Polished Hoe.
Oh yeah, The Polished Hoe. Yeah.
My brain.
The Polished Hoe is by Austin Clarke. That hoe though.
Yeah, that hoe though.
You kept doing that hoe though comments for a while there. I don't know. I can't think of any other names. Michael, can you think of any more Black British?
No.
I'm at a loss.
Now I see where I don't.
Oh yes, there is one, but I didn't like anything. I didn't like the story that I read. God, what is that man's name?
Oh, someone on there's a list on.
Sounds like a woman's name.
There's a list on Goodreads of Black British literature. Obviously, Zadie Smith, Andrea Levy.
Yeah, Andrea Levy. Yeah.
Sam Selvin, Muchi Emichada. Oh, this looks interesting. Amita Forna. Oh, The Memory of Love.
Oh yeah, Aminata Forna. Yeah, that's right. She's Black British. She's very good. The Memory of Love is excellent.
Oh really?
Yeah. I read that with my book club. It was really good.
Ooh.
That's a 5-star.
Helen Oyeyemi. She might be.
Yeah. Although that's pretty special because it's going to be very fairy tale-ish. Like.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that, but.
But yeah, I guess you'll just keep us updated on whichever one you choose.
Somebody said Carrie Young. I don't know Carrie Young.
She's Black British as well.
Yeah.
I never heard of her.
No, I haven't either.
Surprise. That's I say that like that's a surprise thing.
No, it's just that you have to admit the Black British writers.
Oh, this
picture we are exposed to are very limited.
Oh my gosh! She wrote this one called Gloria, and this cover is.
Oh yeah, she did write Gloria. I forgot about Gloria. Yeah, Gloria is a possibility. Oh it's written in dialect, but it could be really cool. It could be really cool.
This looks like it's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, I have heard of her before. Yeah.
Look at that.
Carrie Young.
Fei Wong is is this for that's for Show Me the Mountain. Okay. About Carrie.
Yeah, Small Island would be good. That's one that is makes a good discussion apparently. I haven't read Small Island. And I haven't read Carrie Young's book either.
I've never heard of her.
I never heard of her.
I'm on her website now.
I have heard of her, but it's just that no one's really read that. At least nobody that I follow has read that.
Oh, this one called Pow sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna see if my library has copies.
No, I don't know. I can't think of anybody else. If anybody out there can think of anything else, write their names up here because that'll help make a decision a bit easier.
Of course, my library doesn't have it.
Look, I'm checking mine too, and it probably won't, but it might.
Well, you see, this is the problem: is that we are not exposed enough to Black British writers. That is, we've been exposed to a very limited amount of people, and I think one of the main ones is Zadie Smith. you know, she's out there quite a bit, but there are other people out there that.
Lord have mercy. I typed in Carrie Young and between books about scandal.
Oh,
The show.
Oh,
that's so funny. Am I
Well,
going to post on Goodreads? What do you want me to post on Goodreads? What,
Oh,
this
maybe like
video? Yeah, this video will be posted on Goodreads for sure.
my library doesn't have Carrie Young at all.
yeah, mine doesn't either. The
Yeah, I'm
good thing,
not
though, is,
surprised. I'm not surprised.
the new person who's at head of my library who orders the books are really good at ordering the books. But this is actually like only $2 on Amazon.
Oh, seriously?
Well, with shipping, it'll be like $6. But that's not bad.
Not even with
Is it
Amazon
available for
Prime?
Prime? 'Cause,
Yeah.
It's not,
Amazon Prime,
no,
they're gonna help you.
it's not under Amazon Prime.
Oh well, damn.
Yeah. But oh my goodness.
Michael, yeah, I have his new one out. Michael Donker, his new book. I have it. That's what I'm reading over the holidays as well.
Ooh, what is it, Michael?
I think it's called. Oh, what's the stupid book called? I don't remember now. Is it called The Post? Or is it? Yeah.
Or Hold? Yeah, House Girl or
The House Girl or the Hold or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna try that one and see how good that one is while I'm away. Hold, yeah. But I think that's his debut novel, isn't it? There's a lot of debut novelists out at the moment. It's exhausting me.
Oh, Cassandra was asking if you're going to post the selected Black British author on Goodreads. It'll probably get there eventually, but follow her on Instagram if you're not already, because she'll discuss it on her live.
Yeah, well, yeah. Look, let me get my list hooked up first. I gotta hook me up. I gotta hook me up a list because
right.
Because like somebody was asking me that on the live chat. They asked me, well, who was my favorite Black British writer? Like I read a whole shit ton of them, and I don't. I was like Zadie Smith, because that's like probably the only one I really know, and I really like, and I've read almost everything she's written. But then somebody says, "Oh, what about Diane Evans?" I said, "I haven't read anything by her though." And
her website, the link to her website, I don't think it's the author Diana Evans' website on the list that I went to go look at the other authors.
Yeah,
the website that came up it's like a blog with it wasn't right. I was like,
okay, well, yeah, because I don't think Diane Evans has written anything recently. And I don't know when was the last book she wrote when that came out. I don't know.
So is Michael Donker's book called Hold or House Girl? Because it's showing both on.
It's called Hold. I think you know what I think it is. I think it's the British edition is called Hold, and then maybe the American edition is called Household.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because the cover's the same, but
yeah.
They're being released.
Because I picked up mine at Shakespeare & Co. And Shakespeare & Co. usually has, the majority of the books are British books. They do have some American books, but they only have the American books that are popular at the moment. But most of them are British books. And I saw it there and I picked it up and it was called Hold. So I'm assuming that they decided to call the American one Household for some reason.
Okay.
But that's kind of weird. I don't know why they would do that, but you know, I mean, these publishing companies are doing all kinds of weird stuff that don't make sense. So,
anything else before we go?
No, I'm good. Does anybody have anything else to say?
No, I think I'm good.
You're good. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. It was fun. I hope you guys got enough out of our discussion. And I don't know, we'll be back for our next read along will be in November. Thanks, Alicia, for reminding me that. I've forgotten.
You're welcome.
Thanks for reminding me. So November will be
October
Black History Month in the UK.
October. Oh, November. Okay.
I think it's in November, or is it October?
I had it written in my calendar as October, but I don't
No,
know.
maybe it is. Maybe it is October. It is October.
Okay, I thought. Okay.
So it'll be in October. We'll do another read along, and it'll be somebody Black and British. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks y'all for joining in.